Welcome, my friends, to your detailing training. This is an entire course on detailing from start to finish. In the description, we have full standard operating procedures that you can print out. You can use this as a training program for yourself or your entire detailing team. I'm also gonna have a checklist that you can use for yourself or your employees. You can go step by step to make sure the quality of the job is done perfectly, and then they'll sign it at the bottom and turn it in. We're gonna go step by step with the tips, the tools, the techniques on how to detail a car from start to finish. We're starting with the wheels and tires. In the detailing world, there are so many different tools and chemicals that you can use to achieve the results that you're looking for in the detailing process. I'm gonna go through some of my favorites and show you the quickest, most efficient ways to use these products to get the best results in the least amount of time. Staying organized is one of the first things that you can do to stay efficient in the detailing process. So you can see over here, I have a cart. This is our prep cart. It has all the different tools and chemicals that I need to fully prep a car. Underneath, we also have buckets to keep some of our tools. They're on wheels so we can bring them around the car with us. There's lots of different ways to detail. After 20 years of detailing, these are the tips and tricks that I found that are the most efficient and do the best job on the vehicle. We're gonna dive right into cleaning the wheels, the tires, and the wheel wells. Now, very important when you start detailing, we wanna work in a cool, dry place. Working directly in the sun, or if it's too hot, can actually have a negative effect. We're using chemicals, and if those chemicals dry on the surface, it could actually damage the surface that we're working on. So we like to work in a cool, dry place, preferably in a shop or in a mobile area. If you have a tent and it's nice and cool outside, perfectly fine. When you start working on the car, you don't wanna work on anything that has just been driven, especially when you're using water. This can cause warping, especially when we're talking about the wheels and the rotors. It can cause damage if that braking system and the wheels are very hot. So let everything cool down first. You don't want to be responsible for any damage. We're trying to improve the aesthetics of the car, and damaging it is the opposite of what we're trying to do. Some of the tools we use in the detailing process are a little more expensive than the others, but they make the efficiency and the quality so much better. One of those tools is a pressure washer. It is a bigger upfront cost, but the savings on getting things done faster, quicker, and a much better quality is well worth it in the end if you're going to be doing this as a career or making money from detailing. We're gonna start by getting ready. I have a dedicated wheel bucket. I have water, a little bit of soap in there, and I have all my tools right there ready to go. I have it on wheels, and I'll bring my cart and my bucket right next to the wheel. And I'm usually gonna work on one wheel at a time because, again, I don't want these chemicals to dry on there and cause any damage. Another tool that I really like to use besides using a spray bottle, it's perfectly fine if you wanna use a spray bottle in there, mix your product. An easier way to do it is use an IK sprayer like this. So they do come with just pumps. This one actually has a motor on the bottom that you can turn on, and it pressurizes everything in here, and you just pull the trigger and it'll foam the product right on the wheel, which makes it very easy. All right, I'm gonna always start with pressure washing everything first. This has a lot of dirt and everything in there. We don't want that dirt to get inside of our brush or anything we're using to scratch the actual wheel. There are different types of wheels out there. Most of the wheels that you're gonna run into are either powder coated or an OEM finish, which is a base coat, clear coat. There are other types of wheels like aluminum or magnesium, especially on show cars, that are non-coated wheels. You have to be careful of these non-coated wheels because any acids or strong chemicals can actually dull or etch these wheels. So if you have any questions on whether a wheel is coated or non-coated, use a little bit of polish on a microfiber and just polish a small part. If it turns up black, it's non-coated and you want to be very careful. I usually only will use a pH neutral shampoo to wash those wheels if it's not coated. If the wheel is coated, you can go ahead and use a lot of these chemicals to get the wheel clean. One more thing that you're gonna wanna watch out for is the rotor. If a vehicle has ceramic rotors, again, you have to be sensitive with the chemicals that you're using. A lot of these chemicals are harsh and can actually end up drying out that rotor, and they're very expensive to replace, and you don't wanna ruin them as well. So I stay away from any harsh chemicals and anything that's not pH balanced on any type of ceramic rotors. Another thing that you could do if you really want to get the wheel clean is actually remove the wheel from the car so there is no damage to the actual rotor. And this gives you a much better clean. It definitely takes longer, but now you can clean the wheels with the chemicals that you want to be able to clean that wheel properly. After we have pressure washed the wheels, we're going to apply our chemical to the actual wheel. I like to start off with an all-purpose or degreaser type product to spray the face of the wheel and the wheel well. Chemicals work best when you give them a little bit of time to dwell. You want that chemical to work and start to eat away at all the brake dust and dirt and sand and salt or whatever else is on that surface. So let it dwell for 30 seconds to a minute, depending on the product. Make sure that you're using the correct dilution ratios for whatever product you're using. Very important. Some products will come in concentrated form, which means you get more of a bang for your buck if you pre-dilute it and use it that way. All of these chemicals developed by the manufacturer, they have tested them and they have made these dilution ratios for a reason, because if you use them straight, they could end up damaging whatever surface that you're trying to clean. So very important, read the directions on the back and have your correct dilution ratios. Going into some specific products, Brake Buster is one that I really like, and especially in a volume detail shop. It is made for both the tires, the wheels, and the actual wheel well. It's a degreaser that works really well, and you can buy it in gallon form or even 5 gallons to be able to save some money and dilute it down for whatever you need. All right, I like to start cleaning the wheel from the barrel, and I'll use my wheel woolly, and I'll start at the top here. And you can kind of see how I'm angled there, cleaning the wheel, and I'll slowly angle to the other side of the spoke, making sure I get behind and all the way to the back as I'm going. So I'll start at the top and I'll work my way around the wheel. You want to clean that inside of the wheel, and a lot of times they're hard to get to. So we have these barrel tools to clean the inside of the barrel. This is one of my favorites. This is a wheel woolly. It is a microfiber ball basically on a stick, and it's really nice to be able to get inside there and scrub that inside of the wheel. This is another tool. Sometimes this particular tool does not fit in between the caliper or the braking system. You have a very tight wheel. This actually scrunches down. This is the easy detail brush, and this will go in between those small tight spaces to get in there. I always use this one first because this is one that does a very good job. When you're using this brush, you do have to be careful. These bristles will flick back, often putting chemical in your arms and in your face and everything, so just be careful with this one. It does come in a couple different sizes. You got the bigger brush and then the smaller brush there. For the wheel faces, I like using this little mitt. This little mitt is great for cleaning all the spokes and the faces. It works really well for getting right in there. This is a smaller mitt because you won't mix it up with anything that you're going to use on the car or anything else, but it also fits right on your hand and it's easy to use. This is an awesome, awesome tool. I actually use this to clean the rubber tire as well and scrub that. It does a really, really good job. And then even the wheel wells, I'll get that if I'm just getting part of the wheel well there, it works really well to get inside that wheel well. A second one is a brush. This is a stiff bristle brush that you can use on just the rubber, and where you can scrub that rubber and get all of that debris off, scrub it real nice, and remove all of the gunk that is on the rubber wheel. This is one of the best products that I have found that will clean the rubber wheel. Very important. That rubber is often overlooked and it can start to bloom or have that browning effect. If you want to remove that old tire shine or anything that is sitting on that rubber surface, this is one of the best products out there. This is tire cleaner. This does a really good job at agitating anything that's on that rubber surface and making sure it's super clean. Very important to make sure that rubber is super clean, because if you're going to use any dressings, you don't want anything to interfere the way that dressing looks on the tire. So we want everything to be as super clean as possible. If the wheel hasn't been cleaned in quite a while, it can have brake dust that'll start to look orange. This is the steel particles that have settled on that wheel and actually started to rust. It's not the wheel rusting, it's the braking system particles that have embedded themselves into the wheel and started rusting themselves. So we need to use a stronger cleaner if we have just used our basic alkaline cleaner and it is not fully clean. So going to the stronger cleaner, this is an example of what it is. This is an iron Decon. So this is a specific iron product made for wheels. You spray this on, it does have a little bit of a smell to it, but you spray this on and you let it sit on the surface and you can actually see it start to turn purple. And that is this product dissolving those metal particles that are embedded itself into the wheel. Now, this is a product that you may have to use multiple times depending on how dirty the wheel is. But this is your secondary step to really remove all of that surface. There's also a little bit of a tar here too. So we'll see if that iron remover will remove that. If not, we'll use a little bit of a solvent to remove that tar on the side here. And I'm looking at the wheel, it looks clean, but while this is sitting there, I'm just gonna clean the wheel one more time, and I'm actually gonna clean the wheel well one more time because I can feel it up here. There's still a bunch of stuff. I can still kind of see some dirt when I rub my hand in there. So I'm gonna give that one more clean. I'm gonna give this tire one more clean while that product there is sitting there dissolving all of those iron particles. The lug nut area or the calipers can be difficult to reach. There's a couple different brushes I have. This is a stiff bristle brush, which I really like. I like to use this on engines, but sometimes it also will work on calipers if I can get it back there. This is a little bit smaller and it has a little softer bristles, which I like for the lug nut area, the small areas in there, or getting back in that caliper really nice. These are great tools to have as well. Wheel wells. So a couple different brushes here. So we have a shorter brush that you can use if you have a short wheel well. If you need to get in deeper into that wheel well, this is a longer brush. This is really nice to get deep inside there. I also will use sometimes just a microfiber towel and reach my hand back there and really clean that wheel well. If you have a plastic wheel well, go in there, clean it with a brush and everything. If you have a carpeted wheel well, these take a little bit longer to clean because they hold a lot of dirt and salt and everything. So you really have to use that pressure washer and start from the top and work your way all the way down. It may take a few minutes, but you want to rinse that entire carpet until you see that water from a really brown color where it's dirty to a clear water where you rinsed everything out of that carpeted wheel well. This is the most important part. After you've cleaned everything, you're going to rinse it really well and inspect it. Don't be a detailer that just goes through the motions. We're all human, we can miss stuff. And the whole point of detailing is to get this clean as possible. If you move this car and you miss some part on there, it'll stand out like a sore thumb and your customer will probably see it. So the whole point of detailing is to make sure everything is clean as possible. So now I'm gonna double check my work. I'm gonna use my flashlight and I'm gonna look down in here and say, you know, I see some particles, some tar particles, so I'm gonna use a solvent. I do see some brake dust that is still built up in some of these corners, so I definitely wanna hit it again with my iron product. In the barrel of the wheel, you know, this could use one more cleaning as well. I'm looking at the tire, seeing if I removed all of that. Inside here, it does look like we have a lot of tar. And so the next step here is I gotta clean that tar. So I'm gonna grab a tar remover. I'm gonna use that on the wheels to get all these specks of tar off inside the wheel well. And then I'm going to clean it again with my iron remover because it does look like this wheel has not been cleaned in several years. Sometimes it'll take multiple cleanings to get this to where we want it. Very important with a tar removal product. It can melt plastic if it's strong enough, but I'm just watching it here because I don't want this to dry. But I can start to see this product start to almost melt that tar away. You can kind of see it's dripping down. I have just a microfiber towel here. So on the spots like on the wheels, I'm just going to wipe away those little tar specks. The more that I can let this sit on there and dwell, it'll soften up all that tar and it'll make it easy to remove. Don't want this to dry on there. You want to be very aware of different trim pieces and stuff. Like I don't want to get it all over that trim and let it sit there and dry. If I do, I'll wipe it off or rinse it off real quick. I'm watching inside there. And it worked really well on the wheel. You can see it's almost all gone. Those little specks that were there on the side, pretty much all gone. Just double check it. Make sure I get rid of it all. In here, I can start to use my towel and really kind of just rub in there and get all that out. Look at all that tar just melting away in there. I'm using an old microfiber that I'm just gonna end up throwing away. Try not to use a brand new one. Use something that was maybe used, you know, as a coating towel that was discarded. Use those towels for dirty jobs like this. While we're waiting for that tar chemical to do its job and to disintegrate all those tar particles, this is a great time to talk to you as a business owner. If you're a business owner or you're looking to start your own detailing business, pricing is very important. You know, you get a vehicle like this that hasn't been detailed in a long time. You know, for me, I always want to do the best job I possibly can. And that means taking the time to remove this tar buildup, to clean the wheels multiple times. This is all time and effort that goes into cleaning these parts and really getting the best detail possible. And it's your job as a business owner to educate your customer on what it takes to get this back to looking almost like new, or as new as possible, as clean as possible. And it's not just a couple minutes per each wheel. Like this wheel may take us 10 or 15 minutes. We may spend an hour on this job just cleaning the wheels, and you have to be able to communicate that to your customer to be able to charge the right prices to stay profitable. A lot of these chemicals and tools are expensive. You have to pay for that. So charging appropriately so you can stay in business, buy new chemicals, buy new tools is very, very important. I'm gonna have another video on how to charge, and we'll link that in the description so you can see how to charge and how to figure out what your numbers are, your expenses, so you can stay profitable, so you can keep on doing a great career that you hopefully enjoy and have a lot of passion about, which is cleaning cars. Also setting the standard, you know, knowing that it's okay to spend an hour on all of these wheels. The customer may not want it or be willing to pay for it, but at least if you educate them what you can and can't do. Like, yes, I can clean it once. I can maybe do a quick tar removal. I may not remove every speck of tar, and I'm not gonna clean the wheels multiple times, which they may need it because of the brake dust buildup, but at least you can communicate that to your customer to say, hey, I'm gonna get it like 80% better. But if you want 100%, you want me to clean it multiple times, you want me to make sure that all of that buildup brake dust is gone, you want all of this tar gone, it's gonna take, you know, 20 minutes each wheel. And it might take me a little more than an hour to do all these wheels just to prep them and clean them. All right, I've sprayed this a couple times. I've let it sit there. I really want to make sure that this product has the dwell time to be able to remove all of that tar. And we're looking so much better. All right, that is cleaning wheels and tires. This is an entire course on how to detail. So make sure you subscribe because we have lots of other videos in the detailing process. It's now time to go on to the next video. Thanks for watching.